Welcome back, everybody. It is time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 331. It is August 6th, 2026. And before I get into anything, let me start off the way I always do, by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. All right, click that subscribe button, smash it, whatever you got to do to it. But remember to be clicking it, and of course, set the alarm so you know when all the new episodes are uploaded. If you want your opportunity to tell your story or be a guest on this podcast, TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. It's the official email of the podcast, so send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree, it's in the description below the video. Go ahead and click that link. It gives you access to everything TWT. It's just that easy. And of course, don't forget about all the links that we discuss in today's podcast are also available in the description below the video, everybody, so that why you can do your own research. All right. And now, with all the housekeeping out of the way, it is time to start the podcast, everybody. I wanted to open up with this, but until somebody actually prosecutes the Epstein elites and gets Fauci to actually tell the truth, we need faith. We need prayer. We need God. Jesus Christ himself is the only one that is going to bring us to a better place, everybody. I truthfully and absolutely believe this now, and there's no turning back. It's been turned on. And I want to start with this because I believe this opening clip, it really does. It basically sets my mood almost every single day now. This is just something we all need today. So let's check this out, all right?
There's one prayer that I pray every single morning, and God is undefeated with it. Every single time he has answered it. And every single time you pray this specifically, he won't ignore it. This prayer is only 13 words. It's so simple. It covers who Jesus is and what exactly he does. Like I said, God is undefeated. Every single time I've prayed it, he has answered. And here it is. Lord, please cover me and my family with the blood of Christ today. His blood. What is more powerful? Do you know how much meaning is in that? His blood covered us for eternity. And when you pray specifically for his blood to cover you and your family, every time I've done it, it's worked. I'm still alive. My family has been saved. It's the difference between anxiety and peace. It's the difference between a car accident and the protection of the angels of the Lord. And it's not just physical protection, it's also spiritual protection. Watch how your life changes when you start to do that. Because in reality, there is no protection without him.
And that's what I'm talking about, everybody. Look, you have to give it up. You have to give it up. And if you don't give it up, then what's going to happen is that the world around us will dictate what's happening to us. And I believe that if we find faith and we give ourselves up to God and allow Jesus Christ and the angels to guide us, they can guide us through this world of tragedy, and death and sacrifice and demons and angels and vampires, which I'll get into later. But what I'm saying is, man, is that yes, Lord, please cover me and my family with the blood of Christ today. Because that right there gets me moving every morning. Every morning now. I want everybody under the blanket of the blood of Christ. Because I want all of my friends and family to be safe. I want to be safe. These roads are dangerous, man. Dangerous. And I'm going to digress just for a moment, but I think it's crazy today to drive up and hit traffic, right? And then by the time you get through the traffic, you see the accident. Multiple cars, single car, body covered in a blanket. And then to get through that traffic and just start driving like an asshole again is insanity to me. How do you drive past a horrific accident and then just go right back to going to 100 miles an hour? How do you not allow that accident and that tragedy to affect you to the point where you go, maybe I should slow down a little bit? And that to me is mind blowing because I drive through an accident and the first thing I do is check my speed. I'm like, shit, I should probably slow down. You know, I'm thankful that wasn't me, but it could have been or it could be. So I always wake up now, write in my journal the 5 things that I'm thankful for. They are changing with time, they change every day. And then I open up with this prayer so that me and my entire family, friends, and everybody that I know make it through the day and we're safe because God is guiding us. You know? I just think that I've talked about it before, but it's just so powerful. And I don't know what this is, but it just feels real today to me. But let's go into the next one, right? Let's go into the next one because this is God Mode Part 2, Dirty Olaf. Why Olaf enjoys a higher power. And this hits home for me now more than ever because I guess I finally understand the whole higher power thing. But check this out, man. I mean, I think this is very important today.
I don't know, this just believing in a higher power, striving for higher, I don't know. It seems like a total oversimplification. Of course it is, Josh. We only have 3 minutes. Who are you looking at? Never mind, Josh. So what do you want to be more complicated? You want it to be more complicated? The more complicated something is, the more it's in your head. The more simple it is, the more you can feel it. So sometimes you have to take the cost of simplicity for the effect of actually viscerally understanding it. And once you viscerally understand it, it becomes wisdom and no longer long knowledge. But if you go deeper and deeper and deeper into knowledge and it goes into the grain of sand, you lose the bird eye view. So you better do both. When you get into an argument with somebody, you say yes and you use it to further practice what you've learned. You don't avoid it. And sometimes when you want to float from up top and just think, well, in the end, we are all the same. I am you and you are me, and it's just code. Then you can go into the expansiveness, but you can't live there because you still have to do your taxes. I mean, you do, I don't. I feel like oversimplifying something can be very dangerous because it's misleading. Josh, I'm just giving you the egg and I'm cracking it a little bit. You gotta make your own salad. Salad? Egg salad. You've got to take whatever I give you and you got to make something out of it. I can't tell you everything. I'm giving you the code that understands the fundamentals. What you do with the fundamentals of the code is up to you. And you're going to make mistakes, as do I. But it's learning from the mistakes and using the things that go wrong to figure out, oh, maybe if I try it this way. Instead of running from things that are wrong, you face them and you welcome them and say, I cannot wait to solve this puzzle. That's living life in God mode, Josh. Okay, but I don't understand. What does it have to do with God? Call it what you want, Josh. It's just a higher immortal power. Call it the clouds. Call it the sky. Although I don't know how much the sky is going to tell you. But maybe it tells you just as much as whatever I hear. But you've got to be in your body and elevating yourself to an answer. If you do not wait and ask for answers, they won't come, Josh. And then you're just going to be doing dirty laundry in your brain. So you literally want me to look at the sky and wait for voices? It's not voices, Josh. It's elevating your frequency so you can get the information with higher antenna. The higher you pull your antenna, the better the information, Josh. I don't care who you do it to. Just open yourself up to the potential that there's novelty. That is the whole point. The peoples who have no connection to a higher power, who are stripped from that engagement, that communication, they can only recycle what already exists. That's why people say there's nothing new under the sun. Bullshit. They have access to novelty, Josh. So you have access to novelty? Yeah, I have lots of ideas. You want to hear about my steering wheel squirter? No.
You want to hear about my steering wheel squirter? Oh, I do. What the? What is a steering wheel squirter? I have a funny idea. I know what it is. Ah, Jesus. But this is very, very true. Even though this is comical, and I do love Dirty Olaf very much. I think his content's great. But I just also believe that this is what we are missing today. This is what TV is programmed to do. This is what music is programmed us to do. And I think that he's right. You don't have to do what I'm doing, and you don't have to believe in God or Jesus. You just have to give it up to something higher than anything that they've given you or you've given yourself. You got to get out of the programming. You've got to get out of the house, get away from the television. Put the phone down, everybody. Put the phone down. Look up and absorb what is there, because it's more than what you have been told. So therefore, if you give it up to just the sky or the clouds, like Olaf said, at least that's going upward. You're not giving it to the oligarchs and the people that make the programs and the TVs and the Fox 25s and name it. Stop looking up to them and look up beyond them. There's more to this than we will ever know, you know? And with everything coming out today, I just believe that this is what we're all missing. Because I'm telling you right now, man, everything that they're telling us, it's to keep us divided, angry, and alone. And when you give yourself up to God and believe in Jesus and that there's a higher power and there's something beyond, you break their control over you. And now you can function without them. And that is more powerful than anything, because when we break free from the program, man, that is something that they fear, and it's so powerful for all of us. You know what I mean? So you got to give it up to a higher power. You got to let it go. Now, I did talk about vampires, and I did not know this, and I haven't gotten a bunch of stuff done yet. But what I did do is I pulled this up because this is wild. This is wild. And what I mean is I just haven't finalized my downloads of all my stuff so that I can listen to this stuff on audio. But vampires reading Proverbs 30:13 from an antique Bible that was written in 1857. 1857, everybody. These are the type of Bibles I'm talking about. I need to get my hands on these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a digital copy, but I did hear there's a digital copy of the Book of Enoch. So I'm hoping to download some stuff, but I only use Audible, so I don't even know if that one is going to be as unedited as I want it to be, but this is crazy, dude. And I don't know. I'm not a big believer in the whole vampire thing, just like I don't believe in aliens. I don't think those are real. I think those are the fictitious things that they made up. But there's something to a Bible that is written in 1857 that talks about vampires, but not in the sense that me and you know them as today. So this I thought was really, really interesting. And this is the type of stuff that I'm looking for that has been taken out, right? And that in itself, why would you take it out unless you don't want us to know? So, could vampires actually be something, but just not what they programmed us to know them as? Let's check this out. Very interesting stuff here.
Vampires in Proverbs. Let's look it up and see what it says. All right, so it's going to be found in Proverbs 30:14. It says, "There is a generation whose teeth are as swords and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men." Okay, so that is really shocking imagery that they give us, isn't it? For a little deeper understanding, let's follow this cross-reference letter in. So that's going to take us to Psalms 14:4.
Oh,
Okay,
wow,
so
that's
Psalm
interesting.
14. Here's 4, but let's go ahead and just read this whole thing. It says, "The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon the Lord? There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad." Okay, so you could look at it as really weird imagery of vampire-like people who, like it even says here, they eat up the people of the Lord, right? Or we could look at it symbolically as a sinful generation who, as it said, have taken God's people into captivity, and they're just gruesome and violent. So let me know what you think. I think either way, we can learn a lot from these passages.
I think so too. Now, what did this say on the top of the video here? And a sinful people who speak unholy things, man. So, what? What? So these were people that ate the poor and stole their souls from God. So sharp as swords? It doesn't sound like something that's just made up. And were they vampires per se? Or were they demons who have possessed people? And these demons were going around and stealing souls from God? You know, the best trick the devil ever played was just the simple fact that he basically fooled everybody into believing he's not real. So maybe vampires are real. Because if you don't believe that he or maybe these entities, demons, are real, then his spell is still working. So maybe in real time, in this very moment, in front of all of you, I have to believe that vampires or some type of demon that was stealing souls is real. And it may not be the character that we have seen on television, but something close to it, right? Because the truth is always in front of our face. The truth is in movies, it's TV, commercials, and man, that's crazy, right? Could vampires actually be demons stealing souls from God? I do believe that that could be the closest thing to the truth. Now we've talked about the 5 elements before on the show, especially with Elijah when he came on, and there is fire, earth, ether, water, air. 5. See my fingers? My hand? 5, everybody. Ether was taken out. Ether was represented on the middle finger, everybody. That's right. Earth, you had earth, fire, ether, air, water. But yet we were always told this is a swear. Is it a swear? Or is it the missing element that you have erased because everything is made of ether? And we can't have one element represent everything. So we had to take it out. And we told everybody that your middle finger is a swear. That is a swear word. You're not allowed to use your middle finger. Well, isn't that interesting? You don't want me believing in God. You don't want me believing in angels. You don't want me to believe in Jesus Christ. And you don't want me to believe that ether is a lost element that everything is made up of. Never mind the fact that you also don't want me to believe that gravity is measurable. Well, if it was a magnetic pull, it'd be measurable. And therefore, what else are you telling us that you don't want us to remember? What else have you erased from our history? Well, let's check out ether and the link to the middle finger. I think this is very interesting. And like I said, this stuff, man, how can you listen to this and not believe that there's something there more than what they're trying to tell us? You know? Check it out. What if the truth has been hiding in plain sight?
So we all know the middle finger is considered swearing, but it's actually something very powerful and sacred when you recognize it, and we can all take advantage of this understanding. So you have 5 fingers for the 5 elements: fire, air, ether or spirit, earth and water. So they demonize the middle finger and called it swearing, when actually the ether is the element they removed off the periodic table. They don't want you to know about the ether, because when you know what the ether is, it represents how everything is made out of one substance. The 4 elements are 4 different vibrational states of the ether. The ether is the interconnected spiritual source of all physical reality and all creation. So esoterically and inside of your anatomy, they are also symbolic of you. So ether or spirit represents you, the observer, the controller. Fire represents your willpower, I will. Air represents your thoughts, your mind, I think. Water represents your feeling, I feel. Earth represents your actions. So you are the spirit governing your will, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. So they demonize the spirit because these Satanists, they only care about physical reality. So they don't want you to recognize that you are the spirit.
And you see how that breaks down? You are the spirit, everybody. This is mind-blowing to me that this is what they have literally been destroying for over 100 years, right? So if they've been trying to destroy the fact that you can no longer remember that you are the spirit guarding yourself, that there's ether and everything is made of ether, and gravity is a magnetic pull, and the earth is actually flat, and when you don't believe any of this to be true, they've got you. They've got you, man. Right? Science was invented to disprove God. Now, is all science bad? No, not all science is bad. Is there science that can do a lot of good? Of course there is. The problem with the science that does good, they don't want that. They don't want that. They want bad science. They want more toxic vaccines. They want death and mayhem. And I talked about last week the deep underground bunkers, right? So, what are they doing? They want complete and absolute devastation. They want to run into their bunkers, and they want to watch the whole world burn, and then they want to emerge and then implement their actual plan. Because I don't believe the full plan has been activated. I believe we are in the beginning of the plan. The beginning of the plan is the start of our devastation. And when the devastation happens, that's when they're going to put their plan into effect. Because this is what they've been doing. This is what they've been secretly talking about and hiding from us. The more they strip from us, the more we're based in reality, the more they have control over us, the easier it is to do whatever plan they have made up, and all they're waiting for is the green light. I do believe that we have all been programmed to not understand and not believe the capabilities that are inside of us, and the simple fact that we don't have to listen to them. You know, I've heard a few things now where if all of us could just get on the same page, if we could all just get on the same page, I don't know how it's possible, but, and just not pay our federal taxes anymore, they would not be able to, I don't know, arrest or prosecute all of us. It wouldn't be possible. But what if there was a way for all of us to stop paying our federal taxes? I'm not talking about the state, talking about the federal ones, the ones they keep stealing from us, the ones that they're going to give to the military $1.5 trillion to do what? You can't even replenish what we've lost with that amount of money thrown at it. Why? Because of production time. So you can't produce the product fast enough. So where is the money going? What do you need $1.5 trillion for in a war that we didn't need? The Strait of Hormuz was open. This is all Trump's fault. And I know. Netanyahu brought us in, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sure did. Okay. It's his fault too. But let's be real about this. I was hoping Trump was free thinking, but he's obviously another puppet. And the guy that got arrested, the Olympian, for the reflecting pool damage, well, just got thrown out of court. Why did it get thrown out of court? Oh, because it was actually a bad contractor, which is right in line with what Trump always does. All of his buildings, all of his builds, they're either bad contractors or they were contractors that never got paid. This man has been a scam artist since the day he was breathing, I believe. He's just a liar, everybody. He's just a liar. And unfortunately, I did not believe that his lies were so big. I really didn't. So, yes, I got fooled. But at the same time, man, I think that's what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to get fooled. This is all part of the plan. And a lot of people think Trump is our last president. And a lot of people think that he's going to get a third term. I don't know if any of these things are going to be true, but what I do know is that we have the power to guide ourselves a different direction. And all you have to do is believe everything they told us not to. So ether's real, gravity's measurable, the world is flat, and there's vampires that are stealing souls. Those are the things that I believe are more true today than anything else, which is so wild to even say out loud. But at the end of the day, man, doesn't this all feel like part of the programming? It really does. It's so crazy. Now, I talked about Flock last week, okay? Flock is not the total enemy here. Nope. It's the fall guy, everybody. It's the fall guy. Why am I saying this? Because it's just going to be another company. They want your focus on Flock. They want your focus on this one company. But all they're doing, and I've seen this from state to state, is that all of a sudden the contracts with Flock are ending and they're rewriting new contracts with Exion or another company. So this is very interesting to me because this is what always happens, everybody. So what they do is first of all, they launch a federal United States program. Everybody gets pissed off about it. They shut the program down. Then they find this poor white dude in a dorm room, whatever. They definitely what's the word when you go looking for a baseball player? Are you a scout? I think you're scouting. They scouted these people. They scouted Bill Gates. They scouted Microsoft, Apple, all of them were scouted. Everything that came out of a garage or a dorm room, fucking Zuckerberg, all of them were scouted by these demon worshiping elites. They were given a federal program that was turned down by the people, and then what they do is they just make it look pretty. And then they just re-release it as something else. Facebook, Polygram, flock cameras. Same shit all over again. Same. So, this security system that was being put in place was a federal agency, a federal program that got shot down by the people. So they introduced it as flock. Everybody's pissed off about the flock cameras. And now they're like, oh, well, people are pissed off about flock. And then we just write in a new company. And we start the contracts all over again. It's the same result, though. It's the same result because it's still a surveillance program. So what I'm saying is, man, is that they always have this way of making us think that we are stopping something, but we're not. Because they have X, Y, and Z in place to take place of whatever one makes us angrier. But I did see something, and this is not this video, but they showed a truck with a chain around a flock camera pole, right? And the truck is driving away, and the pole is being pulled by the truck, and it's being torn out of the ground. Now, I have no problem with them tearing these things out of the ground, hitting them with green laser, whatever the fuck you want to do to these things. Who gives a shit? As far as I'm concerned, we paid for them. We can fucking destroy them, right? Because the only people that pay for the damage on the flock cameras are taxpayers. Well, we already paid for them, and we didn't approve that. Flock, the company. Axion, the company. The companies should be paying for their own shit. We have to pay for our own electric, our own heat, our own cooling, right? But these guys make the taxpayers pay for all of that stuff for them. So, as far as I'm concerned, burn them all. Because I never approved my tax money to pay for data center water, pay for data center electricity, pay for flock cameras, pay for Axion cameras, or whatever else you just take our tax money for. We do not approve of this. So, the problem I have is that video was being recorded by another camera that had its eyes or its camera lens on the flock camera. So we have flock cameras or Axion cameras in place that are surveilling all of us. And then on top of that, they have another camera surveilling the cameras that are surveilling us. What the fuck, everybody? I'm telling you, they want our attention on one thing and one thing only so that they can then implement the same exact thing under a different name. Check this out. It's infuriating.
We're now finding out those license plate cameras aren't just recording your plate anymore. It's called signal trace. It doesn't read your plate. No visible plate doesn't matter anymore. They don't need it. It reads your phone, your AirPods, your smartwatch, every Bluetooth signal sitting in that car with you. That exact combination is unique to you. Nothing travels alone. Every device that moves with you gets pulled into the web, your phone, your partners, and the kids. One household, one file, watched as one. Now you know why they need all those data centers, tracking and analyzing this much data for every single American. This isn't a small side project. There's a few 100 million people searched all day, every day. All of it straight into government data sharing, and in most cases, no warrant required. It's a live feed, running 24/7 every time you drive past. Plate cameras were just the beginning. The real target now is you, your devices, your patterns. And because this reads device signals, it doesn't need a road, malls, parking lots, sidewalks, anywhere they put the sensor. It already knows your car. Now it's built to know you. And you never had an opinion? Follow 4 episode 2, Who Can Access This Data?
And that's the biggest problem we have right now. Who's accessing the data, everybody? Oh, yeah. Private companies. Oligarchs. Billionaires. Not the government. Not our police. No, it's the people that are in charge of the corporation. This is so wrong, dude. It's so wrong. And I don't agree. This is the start of the downfall of America. We're going to lose everything. And the only way I see us being able to make it through this, or the thing that I'm starting to realize is that this could actually bring us closer to a civil war, because I don't think there's a lot of Americans out there that agree with this. I don't think that they're going to just lay down and allow this surveillance to take over. So all I'm saying is I don't want anybody to get in trouble for destruction of property. But I'm not going to say that this is right and we don't have the right to stand up to the corporations and the billionaires that are putting this in place and putting it upon us. So therefore, I believe we should do whatever we can to help eliminate this system. I think that's the best way I can put it for everybody today. But be aware, man. Bluetooth signals are now activating these cameras, and they are no longer just looking for license plates. They're just going to keep an eye on you when you're walking down the sidewalk, because I don't know if you knew this, but China has already implemented their digital currency, and I'm not sure exactly where the location, but people get deducted points, 2 to 3 points off of their total digital currency status for jaywalking. It happens instantaneously. They jaywalk, they get a notification, your credit score just went down 3 points. Now, the only question I have, right, because I've had some really hard financial times and slowly climbing back up the hill here. I'm still at the bottom of it, but with this new digital currency or this new digital credit score, would it eliminate the old credit score? And do you start out at 100 again? You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I was at an 800 and now I'm down to like a mid 6. But would it completely eliminate the actual credit score, or would it be added to the credit score? So like you're already down 50 points because your credit score is already low. I don't know. What are they planning on doing? I don't agree with it. I don't think it should be allowed to happen. I don't understand why this is happening. And I absolutely, positively hate all data centers and all cameras that are going to be surveilling us. We need to stop these data centers from being built. We need to stop them. Now, Jared Kushner, friend of the show, everybody. Look, this is great, because if you want to know who's at the top, who's controlling, who's doing what, gotta watch this video, everybody. Holy shit.
So I was doing some research and I came upon this video that I'm sure you hear in Sam, which is very much aligned with what I've found before, and that is Jared fucking Kushner is the diabolical mastermind behind it all. And he was groomed for this at a very young age. And as I said in my previous videos, this has been brewing for a very long time. Check this out.
What people call conflicts of interest, Steve and I call experience and trusted relationships.
In 1 month, the U.S. dropped more than 5,000 bombs on Iran and billed the American taxpayer over $30 billion to do it. And one name keeps coming up as responsible: Jared Kushner. But to understand how, you need to know about 2 key relationships. The first goes back to when Kushner was a teenager. Buried in a 2017 New York Times article is a detail that's stayed under the radar. When Benjamin Netanyahu used to stay in the United States, he would stay at the Kushner family home in New Jersey. Most diplomats meet foreign leaders at negotiating tables. Jared Kushner met Benjamin Netanyahu when Netanyahu was sleeping in his bed, forcing Jared to sleep in the basement. The second relationship is with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. And to understand that one, you need to know what happened the moment Kushner left Trump's first White House. He started a private equity firm called Affinity Partners to capitalize on his Middle East connections, despite having no experience in asset management whatsoever. So he went to the Saudi State Public Investment Fund and asked for money. And so the Saudi government Kushner had spent 4 years protecting wired him $2 billion. Kushner took that $2 billion in Saudi money to become the largest shareholder in Phoenix Holdings, Israel's biggest insurance company. Israel and Saudi Arabia used to be historic rivals, and yet Kushner, leveraging those Netanyahu and MBS relationships, said he wanted to open a, quote, investment corridor between Saudi Arabia and Israel. He is the corridor. Saudi money flowing through Kushner into the Israeli economy is the financial infrastructure of a new Middle East, recentered around Gulf Israeli ties. And every dollar that flows through it builds a region that doesn't want Iran at the table. Netanyahu actually said it out loud.
Saudi Arabia will have a lot to gain. I think all these countries around Iran are threatened by Iran, and I think peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia would be really possible and probably very close once this thing happens.
And then came the Iran negotiations this past February. Diplomats from Britain and Oman said a deal was close and that war could be avoided. But Kushner told Trump there was no chance of a deal and that Iran was about to attack the United States. The Pentagon briefed congressional staff the exact opposite, that Iran had no plans to strike the US. The Guardian reported that a diplomat with direct knowledge of the talks said Kushner was regarded as an Israeli asset, trying to drag the US into war. An Israeli asset who had Netanyahu sleeping in his childhood bedroom. Kushner's ideology was there long before the money was. What the money did was align financial interests perfectly with ideology.
Now, my opinion, Jared is close to or is the Antichrist. That's just what I think, okay? Everything that has been stated in the prophecies, and now I'm talking all the prophecies, you know, whether it's biblical, Jewish, Muslim, or Buddhist. I mean, we're talking all of them much aligned with what's going on right now. And then you got Jared Kushner, this nice guy. He has this savior characteristic that I see in him, and I'm sure you all see it too. I mean, he's pretty hollow looking when it comes down to it all. Like, I don't see any empathy, emotion from him really. just a really great actor who portrays himself as a well-kept dude, right? Watch how he presents himself in every clip. Not just this clip, this video, but I mean, go do your own research and check him out. Every speech, every position of power, he's always simple, cool, collective, and non-emotional. All traits of a sociopath, right? Reminds me of that Antichrist kid in
Yeah, it really does. And I wanted to play that whole entire video because, you know, Jared Kushner, friend of the show, he could be the link to everything. And I'm starting to believe that this is very, very possible now. And if he links to everything going on, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. But wouldn't it make sense that all the other people we keep pointing the finger at, again, a misdirection? I think this is the truth, everybody. I think we're getting closer to it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always about disproving God because they hate him, you know? And this book, King of the Jews, you got to watch this, man. It's wild, dude.
The weirdest book you've ever seen just keeps getting weirder. This guy, Dustin Goodroad, found a book while thrift shopping called King of the Jews, written by a Leslie Epstein in 1979, who looks like that. Totally not.
I mean, look at this picture. If you're not, boy, oh boy, does that not look like Jeffrey Epstein? Sure does.
Not exactly like someone else of the same last name. And the strangest part is that the original video is glitching for everyone in the exact same spot. It buffers at the same timestamp for all viewers, and when it resumes, it cuts out the audio, and no one can explain why. Almost like they don't want this video to get out. The original account even reposted the video and the same part was glitched. And now the entire account is completely gone. So I'm here to explain this as best as I can, and let's hope this video does. So the book is a story about a person named, get this, I.C. Trumpelman, who according to the synopsis, used his power to set up an authoritarian regime in the ghetto. His face appeared on money and stamps, his word was law. He was an alternative con man, a charismatic leader, a buffoon, and a dictator. Strides with extraordinary vigor, his organizational genius astounding, and those who survived his reign couldn't decide whether he was a hero or the betrayer of his people, part savior and part executioner. I.C. Trumpelman, who according to the official publisher was a man who thrives on the power granted to him. This is almost too exactly true, but we haven't even scratched the surface of how deep this rabbit hole goes. The book was originally written in 1979, the year that our Donald Trump turned 33. There's that number again. At first it seems like just another one of those crazy online coincidences similar to that one Baron Trump book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, written in 1893 by Ingersoll Lockwood, in which a child of the same name as Donald Trump's real-life son, Baron Trump, lives in a castle and is mentored by a man named Don. 1893, by the way. And now more recently, these mysterious sketches of airships drawn in the late 1800s have also resurfaced, containing the word Trump all over them, and even featured the number 47, Donald Trump being the 47th president of the United States. So this video from 1987 of Trump talking about going in and taking Iran's oil, exactly what's happening in 2026. Not sure if these are related, but just more evidence of the apparent time-traveling Trumps. But this one right here, King of the Jews, once you look into the author, Leslie Epstein, you realize it is so much more than just that. Leslie was a smart man, a scholar with degrees from Yale, Oxford, and UCLA. Many of his students went on to win Pulitzer Prizes. Oh, and his full name is Leslie Donald Epstein. For real, I really don't make this shit up. Now, in all fairness, Epstein isn't exactly the rarest last name out there, and happens to be one of the oldest Ashkenazi Jewish surnames ever. But like, I don't think anyone could deny that Leslie and Jeff, well, never mind brothers, almost look like they can be twins. Now, Leslie's dad was a man named Philip, Epstein, with a PH, not an F, and yeah, straight up looks like both of their biological father. PH Philip had a twin named Julius, both of whom were screenwriters in the early days of Hollywood, and happened to be the main writers of the 1943 hit movie Casablanca. The film is about a man who runs a nightclub, which doubles as a hub where intelligence officers and other high-ranking officials congregate. The owner of the nightclub, named Rick, is on good terms with all attendees, and takes a neutral stance among them, giving him an upper hand among all parties involved, which is just vaguely similar to Jeffrey Epstein, who owned properties and invited the elite to private parties on his island, where he also maintained neutrality that he used to his advantage. Anyway, the movie Casablanca came out during World War II, the film's release coinciding with a meeting of world leaders in Casablanca, Morocco, called the Casablanca Conference, which literally happened the same month the movie came out in January 1943. Because of that, the movie was actually considered wartime propaganda, and the OSS, the early version of the CIA before it became the CIA, was somewhat involved in it. Now, in the OSS during that same time was a man named Donald Barr, who later became headmaster of the prestigious private institution Dalton School, where he hired, get ready for this, college dropout Jeffrey Epstein in 1974, essentially kickstarting his entire career, and was also a bit of a mentor to him. Donald Barr also happened to write his own book called Space Relations, a sci-fi novel where a diplomat man is auctioned and sold to a sadistic noblewoman and becomes her partner and slave, during which the man participates with her in the sexual exploitation of an enslaved people, including a teenage girl, while enjoying his role in coercive sexual acts. And an aristocratic network of oligarchs use a rare mineral called Weinsteinite to sustain a system of slavery and abuse for political dominance. This is all in the official synopsis, by the way, and yeah, this book was written even earlier in 1973, which all kind of sounds eerily similar to, yeah, I don't know, this Epstein family dynasty lore just keeps getting more insane.
And this is what all the distractions are about, everybody. Look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. You know what? This isn't coincidence. They are not future tellers. They are just writing it out how it has been introduced to them. They know it's going to happen. They're trying to tell us, and we just gobble it up as fiction. Isn't that wild? I think it's absolutely crazy that this goes as deep as it does, and look at what has happened because of it all. But again, they are just distracting us, everybody. They're just distracting us left and right, all over the place, up and down. It doesn't matter. They have a plan in place. They're not going to stop trying to execute their plan. And man, I just don't believe that they're time travelers. I don't believe that they have a time machine. I just believe that all of this was put into place, and it's going to conclude exactly how they want it to, because unfortunately, there is enough of us that are so programmed today, and because of that, you have been programmed. And it's kind of sad, because I think with the amount of pharmaceuticals and the amount of shit food and the amount of shit TV and the amount of shit social media, it's a tough uphill battle. Now, what if you could heal faster? What if somebody invented something that helps with our healing process? Now, this really cool, everybody.
There's an invention out of Germany of a new medical device. It's called the human regenerator. One of the experiments showed that if you measure the health of the cell membrane, which is really the health of the cell, that in only 20 minutes, these sessions are 40 minutes, in only 20 minutes, the cell energy barrier boosted to 220 millivolts, which is extraordinary, like nothing else does that. So this does affect cells. It affects mitochondrial membranes. It affects the whole body.
The human regenerator, everybody. The human regenerator. What a wild thing. So you only need 20 minutes and it already starts rebuilding cells. But they put you in this thing for 40 minutes to rejuvenate even more cells or to extend the rejuvenation of the old cells. I mean, what a wild thing. Now, how does it work? I have no idea. All I know is that advanced cellular healing technologies are available today, and they're in Germany. These things, I think, are the best part about where the technology is today. But isn't it interesting that whenever I bring up great technology that's meant for healing, prolonging life, and extending all of our happiness, it extends our life, it makes us happier, and all the things that can benefit us are coming out of other countries. Like nothing is coming out of America, everybody. We got knees being rebuilt. We've got eye vision coming back. We got teeth being regrown. And now we're rejuvenating cells within the body. And this is all happening everywhere else but America. That's weird, huh? Or is it? No, I think other countries have realized that if they kill everybody off, there's nothing left. But America doesn't seem to care because all they care about is the money. And if they could just get all the money, it's like they are literally trying to scoop up every single red cent that was ever distributed to hold on to it for the Great Reset. We got to get all this money back. We got to gather all the money, every single cent that's ever been distributed. It doesn't matter. They're all going to die. We need to get all the money back so that when we repopulate, we can distribute and give them money. Because that is the world that they have built. You can't survive without money, but we can. We could. It just would probably be a more peaceful, better world. But without greed and want and sin, it doesn't do them any good. So, I don't know, man. It seems like the biggest cash grab I've ever seen in my life, and it just really makes me think that they are literally trying to scoop it all up so that they can redistribute it later. I don't know. What do you think? It's just wild to me. Now, nuclear weapons, okay? Real or not real? They've told us we've seen the tests. They told us we've seen the destruction. They told us that we have used them ourselves. And that's what ended the war. But it's not. It's not what ended the war. I showed you all what ended that war. They were being invaded and squeezed. And the leader was told, if you don't sign the treaty or sign the whatever with the United States, I'm going to kill you. So they surrendered to the United States, supposedly after the nuke. But it wasn't because of the nuke. It was because they were being invaded. They were going to be slaughtered, and the leader was going to die. So they surrendered to us because they knew they were never going to survive. So we didn't win because of nuclear bombs. Whether or not we dropped nuclear bombs is another story. I mean, look at Gaza. It looks like a nuclear bomb went off. But supposedly no nuclear bombs. They told us they blew up the ocean and there's radiation and there's all this stuff. But couldn't the radiation in the ocean be from the nuclear power plants? But supposedly nuclear power plants don't exist either. It's just boiling water. It's all boiling water. They're not actually poisoning anything at all. So, are those called Geiger readers? Do those things, are those fake? Is radiation fake? I don't know, everybody. But I will tell you I question it a lot more because, again, I will say this, but we're talking about nuclear powers who are in the middle of war, and no one has used a nuke yet. But yet everybody keeps saying, we're on the verge of a nuclear war. Are we?
Oh no, Iran has secret weapons deadlier than nukes. Ah! You guys know nukes don't exist, right? Well, not on any level that they want you to think they do, at least. Notice how all nuke plants are on water. Nuclear plants are almost always located near a large body of water, and when it says almost, there's one that's not in Arizona, and it still has tons and tons of water shipped to it. And you see all this scary nuclear pollution? Well, it's just steam, because nuclear power plants are just making energy from boiling water. Yes, at a fundamental level, most nuclear power plants function like enormous high-tech steam engines. They use heat from splitting atoms to boil water into steam, which then spins the turbine to generate electricity. They're giant water-boiling electricity plants. There's no nuclear energy coming from it. Well, maybe there is, but nuclear sure sounds a lot like new, clear energy. Like, you know, clear like water. So yes, I'm telling you, nuclear bombs don't exist. I'm not even really sure atomic bombs do anymore, because have you ever seen the footage from the supposed atomic bomb testing? Now watch some of this with a discerning eye, and you tell me it's not just a little miniature town being blown up instead of a giant fake town like they say. Use a discerning eye.
This house was 6,000 feet from ground zero. Other homes that were closer were incinerated.
It's a miniature model.
Everybody. 3, 2, 1.
1950 bomb drop on a village.
Okay, now cut. It's black. Black.
Oh no, black.
Big explosion.
Big explosion.
And the miniature.
Oh my god, that looks so fake, dude.
This is supposedly real footage.
This is so fake.
Watch how this moves. No, seriously. Watch how this moves.
Oh, weird.
It's just a fake miniature model that they're using to put people into a fear state so they can control their minds.
Yes.
Same thing going on up there today. You know, a fallen angel named Franklin Roosevelt, aka Ryan Gosling, once said there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And for once, they weren't lying to you. Have no fear, my friends. They're trying to scare and divide us. And unfortunately, it's working. A lot of you have a lot of waking up to do.
Now, I'm going to stop the video there. It doesn't have much more to go, but I know that Tyler Hansen had some interesting things brought to his attention. I don't know what happened on the internet, but I guess I don't know. I guess everybody used what he's using to find the same people that keep, living throughout hundreds of years. And someone did it to him, and it was like a giant uproar online. I don't know much about it, But I still like the guy's videos, and I still think he was on to something with this. And I still believe that there's no such thing as nuclear bombs or energy. That's why I asked, are the Geiger readers actually real? Are they really reading radiation like they told us they are? Or are they reading something else? Right? Are they reading the magnetic pull? Are they reading the ether? Because ether would be everywhere. Are they falsifying radiation readings? They say radiation poisoning is real. They say all kinds of things are real. But is it just fear that they really want to implement? Because that is the ultimate control. And he's right. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. And haven't we learned from COVID? How have we not learned from COVID? How? They used fear on all of us. And the amount of people that folded, including myself, when I got the first 2 shots, still makes me mad today. Should have never done it. Should have never done it. I will never do it again. I will never believe anything you tell me ever again. Never. Nuclear weapons are not real. Nuclear power is not real. Angels and demons are real. Aliens are not real. Giants are real. Unicorns are real. This is the reality I live in. Why? Because I read the Bible. And these things are in the Bible. That's real. That's truth. So again, I don't know what happened to Tyler Hansen. I don't know exactly what the war is online or why he's being not discouraged, but exposed, I guess you would call it. But I think that video holds plenty of truth in it. I mean, why would they be shipping tons and tons of water to a power plant in the middle of Arizona? Well, you got to keep the nuclear cool, right? Do you? I don't know. Sounds like they're boiling water and turning it into energy to me. But I just think it's wild that all these things that we have been told are turning out it doesn't hold up. It just doesn't hold up. Now we need to expose Islam's lying strategy, everybody, because this is happening.
This is how I know that Islam is satanic, because we look at the Bible, and the Bible says that the devil is the father of all lies, according to Jesus' own words. But in Islam, you are actually allowed to lie to somebody, which is called taqiyya, where you can basically lie about what Islam really says for the sole purpose of converting someone and winning someone over. If we believe that God is perfect, God is holy, God is pure, and that God is the truth, which they believe that Allah is the truth as well, if God is the truth, then truth is in his nature, which means he can't lie. But if your God permits you to lie and allows you to lie, and that's his divine inspired word, that's obviously being written by the devil, who is the father of all lies, according to Jesus' own words.
Exactly.
I mean, it makes all the sense, people. Right? I mean, if you follow the 10 Commandments, look, I've even said this myself. For my addiction to alcohol, I can't lie. I have definitely not told my wife some things, right? But that's because I needed to tell her on my own terms. So I never lie anymore. I might have to wait something out because I'm in the middle of trying to figure it out, and it may fail or it may do well, which in most of the times for me, I fail. But what I'm saying is that you can't lie. And if your religion is based on lying, your God says, in order to bring more people into the religion, you must lie to them. You're allowed to lie about what's in this book. Now, the Talmud, if you look into it, is very dark, sinister, and evil. They talk about killing us, lying to us, and leading us to slaughter. All of the Goyim, all of you, all of me, you know what I mean? So I believe this to be 100% true, because if you are lying, that opens the door for demons. It opens the door for deceiving. It opens the door for alcoholism again, for drug addiction. That's what lying does. Lying, to me, leads back to drinking. So, I don't lie. There's nothing to lie about. You know what I mean? Even when I do something wrong or I do something I shouldn't, I don't lie about it. There's no... The only reason to lie is to benefit the devil. That's it. When you benefit the devil, you don't win. The devil makes you feel like you're winning. Conor McGregor knows it best. Finding God means you lose everything the devil gave you, because everything the devil gave you was based off of lies, anger, deceiving, and terrible things. So God will take away those gifts, because they're not gifts. They're weight on your shoulders, and it needs to be taken off. And the only way to do that is to clean the slate by getting rid of the lies. It's the only way to get off of addiction. It's the only way to make a better life for yourself. So, yes. If your religion is asking you to lie, your God is telling you to lie, that's the devil, everybody. That's the devil. Now, what's going on in Michigan? Because I'm hearing about animal sacrifices, dude.
This is happening in Michigan, and nobody's talking about it.
Controversial vote by Hamtramck City Council tonight will allow the religious sacrifice of certain animals under strict conditions.
It's often practiced among Muslims during the holiday season known as Eid, or breaking of the fast.
It's the best compromise. We don't want to restrict religious freedoms, and we don't want to keep it random without regulation.
Animal sacrifice. Is this America? I mean,
Right.
last that I checked, this is the United States of America. When have we heard of this being allowed here in our communities?
Yeah.
and nobody's talking about it? How is this even being considered? Why is no one headlining this all over the news? This is not the Middle East. This is not some third world country. This is not the place where these individuals came from. I understand religious freedoms, but when it comes to doing what they want to do to these animals, where do we cross the line? They have an entire Muslim committee and community that is making these rules out in Michigan. And let me guess, I'm going to be labeled as racist because I'm bringing it to people's attention? Get out of here.
I will tell you right now, then, I am going to be labeled as racist as well, because this is bullshit. Absolute straight up bullshit, man. It's disturbing. It's wrong. We don't allow the cruelty to animals, supposedly, when we're slaughtering them for food. Now, granted, we've all seen the videos. We all know what's actually happening in Purdue and all of them. They're torturing and treating the animals as, well, animals. And what was it? Some fucking company that wouldn't allow the animals to like move around, and then they finally, there was a lawsuit, and then they won, and then they lost or something, and now the animals are capable of, well, standing up and turning around in their captive cage. I don't know what the best way to make our food is, because eventually it's all going to be printed and we're going to be forced to eat bioengineered everything. But what I can say is, no. You live in America now. We do not want your third world country bullshit here. This is America. Welcome to America. You do what we do now. You're allowed to have your religion. You're allowed to have the fucking things. You're allowed to. Fine. You're not allowed to slaughter animals for sacrifice, you fucking crazy people. You're not allowed to have an animal sacrifice because that is just crazy. You won't even let me drink raw milk because it's unpasteurized, but you're going to let these people slaughter animals for a demon-worshiping sacrifice. That's not America, everybody. That's not my America. And I say this stuff needs to go. There is a point where inclusivity is toxic. And we're here. We're here now. So 5G was the dress rehearsal. 6G is the kill switch.
6G will destroy our body, and as someone who has a degree in chemistry, biology, and mathematics, I'm going to explain to you why. So 5G works at a different wavelength, and 6G can go into the terahertz range. Now, once we get into the terahertz range, you can look at this research article, it can actually affect the calcium-gated ion channels in your body, okay? And if you know anything about chemistry or biochemistry, these sodium calcium ion channels are responsible for literally everything in your body. Neurotransmitter release, hormone transcription, gene transcription, literally the action potential of your nervous system, muscle contraction, anything you can think that has to do with the body at an electric level is involved with these channels, okay? So once they roll this shit out, they can quite literally do whatever they want to our bodies if we're not protecting ourselves.
And that is the biggest thing that's going around right now is that these 6G, I don't know if you've seen them. I see them everywhere now. They look like long white flagpoles. And some have flags on them, some don't. But they just look like a fucking giant antenna popping out of the ground. Nothing like the towers that we're used to seeing. So they're almost disguised. But man, if they do actually have a way of manipulating the calcium within our body, this is basically what? The secret weapon that we used on Maduro when we went into Venezuela, right? Where all the troops were, they fell to the ground. They were uncontrollable. Like the whole thing, dude. It just paralyzed all of them. Didn't kill them, but it paralyzed them and stopped them in their tracks. Now, who's to say that that's not what they're putting in these 6G towers? Who's to say this is not the actual reality of what's happening? Because if it is possible for these signals to reach terahertz, well, that's crazy. I mean, this is only like the second or third time I've heard of terahertz. We've been in gigahertz forever. Now we're in terahertz? Doesn't that sound like terror's gonna hurt? I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be a zombie thing, paralyzing thing, but it's gonna be a thing. They're doing it for a reason. They want them closer and closer and closer and more spread out. But for what reason? Right? And so like when 5G rolled out and it was shit and I just kept going back into LTE mode. I mean, is this 6G even going to do anything? I lose reception on my phone more than I have reception when we're out on the road. So I don't know, man. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's definitely not what they told us it was. And I do believe there is more to this. And I'm just really hoping that everybody's wrong and this thing is not going to completely and absolutely paralyze us, drop us, or turn us into zombies. You know what I mean? I'm just hopeful that none of that happens. So I want everybody to understand about the resetting of the phone. Okay? You should be very aware of when to reset, shut off, reboot your phone, okay? Because it does something that the police get very furious about. Let's check this out.
A leaked internal document showed that police are complaining about iPhones restarting themselves in evidence rooms. Apple did this on purpose. November 2024, Detroit police opened their evidence vaults and found seized iPhones rebooting themselves. And their theory in the memo is that the iPhones were talking to each other and coordinating. Yeah, they weren't. Apple had quietly rolled out a feature called Inactivity Reboot. Here's why restarting your phone terrifies forensic investigators. After you unlock it for the first time, the encryption keys are actually sitting in memory. In that state, tools like Cellbrite and GrayKey, machines that police pay tens of thousands of dollars for, can pull most of your data. But when you restart your phone before you unlock it for the first time, you're actually what's called before first unlock state. So the vault is sealed and the keys are not in memory yet. If your iPhone sits locked for 72 hours, it restarts itself and reseals the vault. That's what happened in the evidence room. So make sure to restart your phone before you're anywhere where it could potentially be taken, and make sure you don't unlock it. Send this to the friend who's most likely to get arrested.
That's why. Fucking asshole. That's why he sent it to me. Well, out of my group of friends, even though all my friends look like they have been arrested, I'm the only one that's been arrested. None of them have, so that's why he sent it to me. Fucking asshole. It's super funny. But what I'm saying is that you need to, like, if you're getting pulled over, get off your fucking phone, shut it down. Don't even turn it back on. Who gives a shit? They got no right to get into it. Even if you turned it back on and you had to, like, do the number, they need a warrant for that. So don't do that either. I would just shut the fucking thing off. When I get pulled over, I shut my phone off. That way, if they try to turn it back on, it's not going to work. You got to get the code. They have to get a warrant for that. You do not have to give up that information. And obviously, their computers will not be able to pull the information as long as it's off, and or, I'm hoping, before that first unlock, it's not capable of being broken into. They did say Apple specifically, so I don't think Android has this feature, but I do know that shutting the phone off and turning it back on into first unlock is the same across the board. Nothing is accessible until after the first unlock, okay? So I mean, how many of you are at risk of being pulled over or arrested? You know? I don't know. I might get pulled over, but I don't think I'm going to get arrested anytime soon. So, my favorite, Dirty Olaf. Okay, so this is the Epstein anger. And I think we all do need to be a little bit angry about the Epstein situation, but also I do believe I've already mentioned that we don't want to live in a world of anger. So you can't allow the anger of the Epstein files that have not been released to run your life or drive you. It will bring you to a negative place. It's difficult today because I am also upset about the Epstein elites getting away with everything that they've done. And they're still doing it, everybody. They never stopped. Just like the government programs never stopped. Just like the poisoning of our food hasn't stopped. They don't want to put the brakes on this. They don't want to fix it. They just don't want us finding out about it. That's it. Let's check this out.
I've been waking up so angry lately. Good, Josh. It's the first stage of healing. Anger is? Yeah, inflammation, proliferation, and remodeling. So it's good that I'm angry? Yeah, as long as you don't get stuck there.
Right.
Creepy Pete's getting hungry, Josh. Creepy Pete? Yeah, it's your mind parasite. My mind parasite. Yeah, Josh, we all come to Earth with a mind parasite. Okay, you're gonna need to elaborate on that. Okay. What's your morning routine, Josh? I wake up, I have coffee, and I read the news. Yeah, so you're like a blind dude chowing down on shit chowder. I'm like a blind dude chowing down on shit chowder? Yeah, reading the news. That's the assholes in the sky shitting on your plate, and you're chowing it down. So I'm not supposed to read the news? You can do what you want, Josh. But if you're feeding your parasite shit chowder rage bait, it's no wonder you have a stomachache. What do you mean by parasite? The voice in your head, Josh, he's an imposter, pretending to be you, and he's whispering in your ear, eat the shit chowder, and giving you instructions to your self-destruction. I call mine Creepy Pete. He's the worm you need to defeat, Josh. Okay, how do I defeat him? You defeat him by defeating him, starving him. Defeating him? Well, first of all, you have to realize that you have a Creepy Pete, and then you stop feeding him shit chowder. Otherwise, you're going to keep growing and growing, getting stronger and stronger until you're a piece of shit. Okay, so you're telling me I need to stop reading the news? No, Josh, you can eat shit if you want to, but realize it's shit. And then maybe once you realize it and you smell it, you realize, I don't want to eat shit. And then you use it to plant something in your garden instead. Okay, how does this practically work in the real world? Don't allow the news or your thoughts to control you. Identify your thoughts. Look at them. Let them breeze by. Give it a good sniff. And then wonder, is that me or is that Creepy Pete who wants me to eat shit so he can be the captain of my ship? Okay, I'm going inside. It's starting to rain. You ready for the second stage of healing, Josh? Sure. You build new tissue. You allow your suffering to strengthen you. How do I allow my suffering to strengthen me? You don't allow the Sirens to give you ideological STDs. You become the Odysseus of your Odyssey. What the fuck does that mean? You draw strength from adversity, Josh. You take the rudder and you say, I will not bitch about the waves. I will not allow them to drown me, because I am the master of the seas. Okay, what's the third stage? Be a captain, Josh. Save the drowning seamen from the sea by inspiring them to inseminate their own majesty. What was that? Something flew up my nose.
You see where I'm getting at? You can't live there, everybody. You can't allow the news to feed your Creepy Pete. You can read the news, but just let it go by. Because at the end of the day, even the stuff that I'm super upset about and the stuff that really bothers me, I can't allow it to run my life, because honestly and absolutely, the only thing I can do is say something about it. There's no actions that I'm going to be able to take by myself, mind you, that are going to change a lot of the things that we're talking about on this show today. But the one thing I want you all to remember is that we do have the control to not allow it to consume us. And when we don't allow it to consume us, then we stop feeding our Creepy Pete. And that actually is the control that we can take back to take away some of the control they have on us. Right? So stop feeding your Creepy Pete. Now, dude, we talked about the flat earth. This is awesome, dude. This is pilots, everybody. A whole bunch of pilots. And you know what they all have in common? Flat earth.
You just say that again.
I'm a member of the Flat Earth. You ready?
Ready? Oh.
I'm an American Airlines pilot. I'm a member of the Flat Earth Society.
God bless you, brother. Wow, the truth. I love it. Mwah.
How long have you been a pilot for? 43 years. Wow. What shape is the planet? Flat.
You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like for Delta, 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat?
The world is flat. Confirmed.
completely flat. Completely flat.
And ice wall? What's beyond the ice wall?
You get to that, and you go down, and then gravity works in a different direction. So when it rains, it doesn't fall on the floor. It falls
Is there another world beyond the ice wall? Wow.
What? I mean, what? These are pilots, everybody. These are people that fly all the time. Look, I'm going to go outside in a little bit and I'm going to mow my lawn. Guess what's outside? It's the moon and the sun. You can't deny what I can see. And every single day, since the day that I got that diagram, and they showed the moon and the sun outside together, which is never depicted in a round Earth. Never depicted in a round Earth. They're always outside together. They're never alone. If you can find the sun, you will see the moon. So, how are so many pilots wrong? Right? And I put that in quotations because they're not wrong. They're the ones up there. They're the ones doing the flying, which I believe would have been blimps if Tartaria survived and we didn't wipe them off the face of the planet and turn them into Russia, because I believe blimps were far superior for flying. I really do. I think we lost some greatness. But how can so many pilots just be lying about a flat Earth? They're not. They're not. And there is something beyond that ice wall, everybody. That's why they don't want us to go. That's why they arrest people for going there. That's why they keep you out. They're not keeping you out for your safety. They blanket everything under safety to keep you out. Just like the Grand Canyon and the Black Hawks. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. They say it's for our safety. That right there should be deemed not true. And anytime you hear it, you should just realize that it's not true. They don't care about our safety. Doesn't the COVID, the whole entire COVID, all of it, was to keep us safe. All they did was lie and benefit and profit off of keeping us unsafe by giving hundreds of thousands of people myocarditis, by killing sports people, teenagers, athletes. That's what I meant. Sports people. Sorry. What? They didn't keep any of us safe. They lied to benefit and profit. That's what I want you to remember. That's what I want you to remember. Going a little long in the tooth today, but I think this is great. Great stuff. Look, man. William Shatner. Do you believe William Shatner? Because I do believe William Shatner. You want to know why? Because he went up there. Didn't he get in that blue fucking dick? Which one was it? Was it that Bezos's fucking thing, or was he on Elon? Doesn't matter. He went up, right? Listen to this.
Clear something up, though, if you don't mind, on the show this week. The last time you were on, we had a clip that got like 2 million views because you said something, and then people are actually attacking me saying, that's not really Bill Shatner. That's why I'm glad you're on video this time.
What did I say? I take it.
I asked you when you were up in space if you could clear the air of letting people know, is the Earth round or flat? And can you confirm that the Earth is round? Because there's been a lot of talk that the Earth is flat. Are you able to tell that from space?
No. I have not seen complete proof that the Earth is round. You can't tell me that it's round with any great proof, other than somebody said, oh, I went around it. Well, that's their journey. My journey is, as far as I'm concerned, the Earth is flat.
Interesting. If you actually said to me that there was no evidence to you that the Earth was in fact round, and until somebody proved it to you, it was flat. That's what you said, and people went friggin' nuts over it. I didn't realize people would go that crazy.
The Earth is flat. The illusion is that it's round. The Earth is flat. The illusion is that it's round. The Earth is flat. The illusion is that it's round.
The illusion is that it's round. The illusion is all they're showing us. Everything is an illusion. It's the way they want it. It's the way they want it. But we have eyes. We have eyes, right? Do you have eyes? I'm hoping that most people have eyes that have vision. And I know there's blind people out there. I get it. I get it. We are not all created equal. That's unfortunately the reality of the world. That's a real reality. We're not all created equal. But if you have eyes on your head today, go outside right now. Go outside right now and look up. Tell me you don't see the moon and the sun out together. And I'll believe you. But I'm going to go outside too. And you know what? It's there every day. There's never a day it's not. So, maybe a cloudy day. But there's never a day that they're not outside together. And William Shatner went up there. He had his experience. And he says, I quote, "The world is flat. The illusion is that it's round." I believe William Shatner. Now, I don't know if I brought this up, everybody, but get rid of your WAZE today.
This video that came across my FYP made me say, what the fuck, out loud. Another creator, who I will link below, was going through WAZE's updated terms of service. You know, the navigation app, WAZE. And she found this little gem under the governing law and jurisdiction section.
The terms will be governed solely by the laws of the State of Israel without giving effect to any conflicts of law principles. Any dispute, claim, or controversy arising out of, connected with, or relating to these terms and services will be under the exclusive jurisdiction of the competent court in Tel Aviv district in Israel.
Now, here is some additional context that matters. WAZE was originally founded in that country in 2008, but in 2013, Google bought them out for $1.1 billion. Now, Google is an American-owned company, so why are they subjecting their users to the blue and white country's jurisdiction? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because they maintain research and development offices in that other country, and they're still registered as owned by that company for legal purposes. That's the loophole. And honestly, I think it's a loophole that should alarm anyone who uses that app. So I did what I had to do. I deactivated my account and deleted that app.
And you should do the same thing for TikTok, everybody. Look, if we, the people, really do feel like Israel should no longer be tied to the United States, we have to look at our apps, unfortunately. Some we like, some we may not like. And you have to separate now. Israel right now, do I have this video? This might be very important to play. Has infiltrated the AI. They have made thousands of websites, not to send disinformation to the people of America, specific websites that are designed for the AI bots to find and absorb information from that positively talk about Israel. So that when you look up whether or not Israel has committed a genocide, your AI will now tell you no. Your AI will positively reinforce everything Israel's done. Because October 7th was so bloody. It was so bloody. Bloody. No, it wasn't in comparison to what they did. And nobody wants to look at what they did because they have a right to defend themselves. That's not defending yourself. That is straight up slaughter. And then you have Jared Kushner, who's got great plans for Gaza. Great plans for Gaza. Lots of expanding and building potential Gaza has. We need to separate America from Israel. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but the only way I know how to fight back is to delete and exclude myself from anything that is backed or produced or designed or encouraged by Israel. So I've talked about HAARP on here, and look, man, HAARP is real, just like the DEWs are real. But this, I think, could have been done by HAARP. But what I'm also getting at is that supposedly a mall exploded because of this. But what if they used HAARP for the initial earthquake and they just wanted to blow up the mall anyways?
A powerful earthquake struck Japan's southern Kyushu region, followed quickly by a strong aftershock and a series of smaller aftershocks. Many people are trapped inside a shopping mall where there was an explosion following an earthquake, according to public broadcaster NHK. Elsewhere, there were early reports of collapsed homes, buckled highways, and fires breaking out in parts of Kumamoto Prefecture. The quake knocked out power to thousands of homes and brought rail services to a halt. Japan is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world. It experiences an earthquake roughly every 5 minutes. But for Kumamoto Prefecture, it revives painful memories of the deadly 2016 disaster. It killed 275 people and injured thousands more. And Kumamoto Castle, which was still undergoing renovation from that disaster, has now suffered fresh damage. Authorities are urging residents to stay alert as the risk of further aftershocks remains.
Okay, so I want you all to see this explosion because, sorry, it doesn't look like something an earthquake caused. Now, you take a look at the video and use your own eyes and own judgment. But watch this because it just doesn't look like it exploded from an earthquake. Watch, boom. Watch. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Watch, I'm going to pull it back. Pulling it back. As I drag it forward, look at the way that is exploding up. and blowing out towards the highway, everybody. What are they saying when they're telling us an earthquake caused a mall to explode? What exploded? Was it the gas lines? Was it what was in that mall? This doesn't look like an explosion because of an earthquake is what I'm getting at. So please tell me what was in that mall that caused that type of an explosion from an earthquake, because it just doesn't seem to add up. And the more that you watch that video, the more you're like, oh, wait, no, that's weird, the way that it exploded like that. So I don't know. Use your own judgment. Take the link and check it out for yourself. I'll have it in the description below the video for you, of course. But I don't think we just saw an explosion from an earthquake. But you want to know what I do believe that I'm seeing right in front of me right now that I'm going to show you? Mental illness.
Get the fuck out. Pepper spray.
What are you gonna do, boy? Bitch!
I fucking told you 10 times.
Videotaping me?
What?
Videotaping me?
Yeah.
Why?
You just stopped in front of me.
Are you a creep?
No.
Fuck with little kids?
No. Why would you automatically go to that weird shit?
I asked you a question.
And I don't owe you answers.
Yeah, you do, because
No,
if you
I
fuck with
fucking
little
don't.
kids, I'll fuck you up
I
right
don't
here.
fuck with little kids. I don't give a shit about little kids. Are you a...
Does anybody know what projecting is? So projecting is when, let's just say you and your girlfriend are in a fight and she accuses you of cheating on her or having an affair or something at that level. That's usually the person projecting what they have done onto you, making you think you're the person in the wrong. So when I hear something like this, that's right where I go to. That's projecting 101. That's really disturbing. If you want to, I mean, if you didn't put it in that perspective before, sorry that if I disturbed you now, but that's all I saw right there. That's all I heard. Projection.
little kid?
I was at one time.
Well, you're not now. You just act like a child. Fuck you.
Bitch,
Go
do
away.
something.
No.
Boy, you're
Touch
a fucking
me.
coward.
Now, I also want to point out that this is a man that's supposed to be a woman. Doesn't seem very womanly to me. Not that I'm saying that all women have to be cute and pretty and not vulgar. But what I'm saying is that this seems like a man who's pretending to be a woman who also is realistically still a man. I mean, the tone, the demeanor, the actions, obviously not taking enough estrogen. But again, all of this clumped into one without a doctorate or a degree in psychiatrics or whatever it is. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is really bad mental illness.
I am?
Yeah, you're gonna sit there and videotape me, but you won't do shit. You ain't got a man in your family.
You're fucking creeping around like a weirdo.
You.
Come sliding in here like a fucking psycho and jump out and
Maybe
start
I'm looking for
talking
my
shit.
brother's Jeep, you fucking punk.
Then go look for it. Leave me the fuck alone.
You fucking said you look this shit in my face.
You walked up to me.
No, I didn't. You
Yeah,
fucking
you
had
did.
a fucking video camera all up on me.
You drove by slowly like a fucking
Like
weirdo.
I was looking for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how many other times you were recorded driving down the road?
The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I drive down the fucking road.
And
I
there's
go
cameras
places.
everywhere.
Yeah, there's fucking
Do you
cameras
jump out and act
everywhere.
like a psycho with them too?
I can.
Okay. That seems unstable and a big waste of time.
Or maybe like I actually fucking tell the truth and I confront shit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck am I asked you a fucking question.
I don't owe you fucking answers.
No, you don't, because you're a fucking liar and you're hiding your agenda.
Because I
Otherwise,
don't owe
you'd be
you
honest.
shit because you're fucking nobody to me.
Fuck you, boy.
Fuck you.
Bitch.
Eat it, dick.
Fuck. Put that thing down. Come see me, you punk.
Okay, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. You're the only one walking away.
Snitch.
A snitch, huh?
Snitch stick, you
Okay.
bitch. Fuck you.
Shove it up your...
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop it there. Dude. Oh, man. That today, that right there. Oh, man. You can't convince me that it's not mental illness that we are seeing right in front of our faces. And it is just... It's just mental illness, everybody. I'm sorry. The numbers are in, and they tell me that most people who transition have like an 8-year window. Even the ones that do it as adults eventually get to a point where there's no return and they're unhappy. Because I believe that you have destroyed the vessel that God gave you. And you're not going to be happy in the vessel when you manipulate it in this way. It's not going to work the way it's supposed to. And it's just trying to be what it is. And the mind is not allowing that to happen. And the propaganda is that this is okay. And I don't think this is okay. I think this is absolutely 100% mental illness. And people are like, well, if it's mental illness, shouldn't they be in a psychiatric hospital? Well, psychiatric hospitals don't exist anymore because they were only invented for the reset. So they used insane asylums to program the people that remembered. That's what they were there for. They weren't there to actually help people with mental illness. So there's no place to put these people anymore because they did away with the insane asylums and they closed them because they were torture. They were holding people captive against their will. They were doing things to people that were absolutely and positively horrifying. But these weren't people with mental illness. These were people that remembered. These people that I'm talking about right now don't remember. They are programmed. And this is the product that they want. All right, Tucker on the data. I hate data centers. Hate them. I just want to know what happened to not wanting to pollute our earth. What happened to wanting a better environment and a better planet for our younger future to grow up in? What happened to the simple fact that we're supposed to recycle and be green and no longer have a carbon footprint? Otherwise, we're bad people. But yet data centers are allowed to be the absolute. I don't know if there's anything bigger than a data center that is more destructive to our planet today. I thought the gene companies and these fast clothing companies or whatever it is, this 2-second, what I don't even know what they call it, but I thought those were super bad because people are like throwing out clothes all the time and it's just filling up these areas with clothes and da-da-da-da-da. And the gene companies are making blue rivers and terrible. I think the data centers top all of that with more pollution and destruction to our actual planet than anything else. But yet, these are a national security, everybody. Gotta have them so we can surveil you.
The Nevada-based power company that is providing electricity to the residents of Lake Tahoe informed them today that, sorry, all the electricity we make is going to have to go to a nearby data center, and therefore you have until the end of next year to find a new source of electricity, and after that, we can't help you because the machines have called and they need the power. So it's a little dystopian, to be honest.
What? So a power company distributing power to all of those residents, all of those civilians, all of those taxpayers are no longer going to get power from the number one power company in their area, Nevada. What? You have to go find a different power company? How do you even do that? Can I find somebody besides Eversource to distribute my power to my house? Or am I locked in with Eversource because it's the only available power source for the Manchester area? Well, this guy gets me thinking, right? How long before a data center takes away the power from Manchester? Or New York? Or anywhere? What does that mean for me and you as taxpayers? We just don't get power anymore because the data centers need it all? And then on top of that, we pay for the data center's power. So how does that work? If I'm paying for the data center's power, and the power company no longer provides me with power and only the data center, am I still paying for that power? I think the answer is yes. But yet you get none to your house. But you're still paying an electric bill. You just don't know you are. It's coming out of your taxes. This is terrible. These things are terrible for us, and AI's no better. Technology sucks. I don't care. This sucks, everybody. And if you don't think this sucks, man, can I have the drugs that you are on? Because I will tell you this much right now. I need them because I can't unsee what I'm seeing. And let's see here. Have you heard about birthdays? We all have them. But are they just a magic spell so that we do become old? And maybe without birthdays, we wouldn't age? Take a listen.
On birthdays, you don't like birthdays?
No. We came here not knowing that we were going to die. Somebody told us that. You had how many birthdays? What do you think? Well, I know that you had one birthday. Yeah. You were born on a certain day. Absolutely. You had no more birthdays after that. So I don't celebrate birthdays, so that stops me from counting days, which stops me from counting time, which allows me to still look the same as I did.
See that beliefs about aging are all in our mind. Science explains that we have a brand new body in a very short time. Aging is limited thinking, so release those thoughts from your consciousness and know that your body is only months old, no matter how many birthdays you have chalked up in your mind.
For your next birthday, do yourself a favor and celebrate it as your first birthday. Don't cover your cake with 60 candles unless you want to summon aging to you. Very interesting.
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors were used to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
Planes of existence. Mental, higher astral, middle astral, lower astral, etheric, and physical. Could you be casting a spell on yourself every single birthday that you get? I will tell you this much. I have never enjoyed celebrating my birthday after basically 25, I think it was. I mean, insurance goes down. Supposedly. I don't know if that happens anymore. But that was the last birthday I remember, like, really, like, celebrating. I think this could be closer to the truth than anything else. I think everything we've been told that we've been doing has been a lie, has been a spell we're under, and we've been programmed to do. This is where we're at today. And that's my message to all of you. It's time to break the programming. It's time to wake up and spiritually heal ourselves. Give yourself up to a higher power and understand that there is more going on today that is so clear. It's so clear what's happening. And our entire world and country are changing because of it in front of our faces today. Now, I don't know if there's any way to stop all this, but I do believe seeing it, understanding it, and talking about it is at least one way to expose it, and then we can just break away from these chains and these shackles they've put us in mentally. I think that's what we need to do, everybody. I mean, just insane, isn't it? Hi, Lana. Look, everybody, I just want to say that I appreciate all of you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. Remember to subscribe, TALKIN with Topher. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video, along with all links discussed on this podcast here today. So make sure you go and do your own research. All right, everybody. That all being said, I hope you enjoy your Thursday. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.